Couple of hours covering the day's news as the stories develop. We have a lot going on that we want to share with you today. Of course, many of you know, and we've been talking about this now for weeks, really. Lots of coverage today from us on the hundreds of thousands of Minnesotans who are going to be losing their food benefits known as SNAP tomorrow. These used to be called food stamps. From the need here locally in rural areas to urban areas. We're going to talk about that. We're going to also talk about some local resources. So we'll cover as much as we can here in the next couple of hours. We're going to visit a food shelf in St. Paul. We're going to go to Dodge County, and then had a conversation just a short time ago with the state agency that plays a really big role in administering these SNAP benefits, which is of course coming from federal funding. Also, of course, it's Halloween. So Keith Marler is here. He's going to really zoom in and tell us about our trick-or-treating forecast. And then Lauren, she set out to find something, and I hope she ended up finding it, but kind of a unique home, a stop maybe on your trick-or-treating path tonight, especially if you're in Eden Prairie, where they're going to be giving out something really unusual that I had not heard of before, and really sweet. And then we're throughout the show, stay tuned, because we're going to show some awesome photos, kids and pets and houses, things that are all decked out for tonight as well. Next hour, so excited about this, a very special interview with literally one of the world's most sought-after experts on leadership. John Gordon has written 32 books, 18 bestsellers, and this past summer, I noticed on social media that he was hanging around TCO with the Vikings during training camp. So I asked him to come on and tell us about it and some other things. We'll talk about other things too, and so he'll be here in the next hour live. And then finally, you gotta stick around till the very end because we saved maybe the best for last, a really sweet reunion. A little pup and his owner in the North Metro. This little guy wandered for 50 days all alone, came home really scrawny, but Donnie is home, and we're gonna talk to everybody involved here toward the end of our next hour, so we hope you'll stick around. And there's a lot more too. Ryan will join me, we'll talk some sports. There's a lot to talk about there as well, so we hope that you'll be with us here. We do want to go through a couple of headlines, though. I want to catch you up on a couple of things that we've been keeping an eye on. Let's see here. Let's see. So let's see. I think I have. Hang on, Ryan. So this is floated. Do you want me to go? Okay. It's not. Okay. There we go. It just popped in. Okay. We're going to start with this. I started watching this early this morning. I saw our Bill Keller here live at the scene in St. Paul, and we just wanted to let you know what's been happening. So there was a shooting in St. Paul, and 2 people we're told have died. This was the 400 block of Front Avenue in the south of Maryland, sort of the south of Maryland neighborhood, around 4 o'clock this morning. That's when it started. There was a press conference around 11 o'clock that we had a chance to listen to, and we saw a spokesperson for St. Paul PD saying that officers arrived at the scene. They found a man suffering from gunshot wounds to the torso, and there were life-saving efforts that were given, but that person died at the scene. And then a second gunshot wound victim was taken to Regions. Ultimately, those succumbed to his injuries as well, according to St. Paul PD. So more information, I think, may be coming out later today. Oh, we do have, great. Thank you, Brad. Let's listen to a little bit of sound from St. Paul PD just a short time ago.
Right now, our homicide investigators are actively working to try to identify the motive and causes leading up to this shooting. But what we can say right now that we want to make very clear is that this incident appears to be domestic in nature, and that these 2 individuals knew of each other, and that these 2 individuals were also the 2 that fired shots at each other.
All right, so we'll let you know if there are any more developments there as well, but definitely something that we were keeping an eye on earlier this morning. We are in just a little bit here going to bring you an interview that I just finished just a short time ago with the Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families. They are the state department that really has a kind of a primary role in helping to oversee and distribute these SNAP benefits throughout different counties in Minnesota. So I had a chance to talk with the Commissioner, Tiki Brown, and just get a feel for what we're looking at right now and how things are going to be playing out. You know, when those benefits might kick back in once the government reopens, things like that. So we'll bring you that here in just a short moment. But also, before we get to Keith Marler, shutdown, just really quickly where we are. The Senate is actually not in session today. So no deal, and there is no session, which means there will be no vote today. They're not scheduled to be back in on Monday. It looks like there will be some sort of rank and file senators that will be staying, close and having conversations. Bipartisan group. They're planning on talking through the weekend, and we have heard from some in the GOP in the Senate that they are feeling like they could be reaching a deal by next week, is what they're kind of floating out there, what they believe. Earlier this morning, President Trump actually floated the idea of eliminating the filibuster in the Senate. That is that 60-vote threshold that they would need to reopen the government. But Republicans quickly jumped in and kind of tapped the brakes on that, clearly because, when Democrats are in power again, if the roles are reversed, they're not going to want that to come back to haunt them. So Republicans are doing a little bit of damage control on that idea. But again, here we are, and not in session. It's been voted down 13 times and not scheduled to be in session until Monday. And talks informally continuing over the weekend. Okay, let's talk about our forecast, because this is what a lot of people are talking about right now and wondering about. And we've throughout the week had more information here and there, Keith, to kind of put together a little bit more of a whole picture. How are we looking right now as you see it let's get through tonight. Take us through tonight first.
How far tonight? Like trick-or-treat time?
So let's start with, around, because some kids go out a little earlier, so like 4 or 5 o'clock. And then walk us through each minute until we get
4
through.
4 o'clock, 4:01,
Yes.
4:02, 4:03.
That's what I would like.
Actually, that's actually pretty easy to do today, because it's this out here.
Okay.
The whole way through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and randomly say 41 to 44. That's got you covered as well.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, because we're not doing much. We've actually, as of right now, have this little dose of some very light rain that's trying to push back on into the metro area as we speak, kind of coming in from out of the west. An eerie dampness is with us. Do you like that hand, by the way?
I love it.
It's Jared from earlier this week. He panned from gold. And so he's back in here. We buried him, and then we made him dig his way out.
That's nice.
It's cool and gray today. We get these little spooky, spotty groups for trick-or-treaters. These little clouds are going to hang around, and we just have this misty dampness with us. It's just this general feel, this general dampness that's with us. Our sunset is at 6:02. So if you're going out before sunset, you got the gray. If you go out after sunset, you got the dark. Otherwise, it's the same thing. These lower 40s are with us. We're going to climb out of it. We're going to go to the 30s tonight, then 46. We'll break the clouds up tomorrow, but still cool for our first day of November. And then once the 50s kick in, that's above average, and we're going to stay there next week. In fact, we might even flirt with a near 60-degree reading by Tuesday of next week. Overall, is this going to really warm up? Not just for us, but for the entirety of the Midwest. But yeah, breaking it down hour by hour for the kids going out at 4 or 5 o'clock, 43 degrees, cloudy and damp. Sunset is at 6:02, then down around 40 by 8 o'clock or 8:30, maybe even 39 by 9 o'clock if you're really late out there. Cool with those eerie drips. If you're a parent taking your kids out, you take the umbrella with you. Whether or not you need it, well, mileage will vary, because these drips are so poorly timed, and you can't. I mean, they're just literally what we have out there now is the remnants, the ghosts of yesterday's dead cold front.
Okay.
The cold front I spoke of yesterday, or Jared did one, that died on top of us and just fizzled out, left us with cloud cover, and we're left with the moisture that's just around. And so we've got an upper level low that's coming on in here and just stomping on the remains of that cold front. And as it does, it just is just spreading that moisture around. Some of it's falling as some drizzle and mist.
Yeah.
Some sprinkles, some halfway organized shower here and there. It's very light, but it's been raining west of town for 2 and 3 hours. Measuring now, some rain gauges are up to 1/100th of an inch. Oh.
How about so we were I'm assuming, and I shouldn't assume, but how about people in greater Minnesota, up in the different
exact
corners?
same
exact
thing.
same. Okay,
Other than parts of far northwestern Minnesota, you could actually have a little bit of a flurry mixing in, a snowflake, but it would be a cameo. It would be a cameo flake that drifts down in with your occasional drip.
But it would
not
be
changing over. And it would be either, it would have happened this morning with some of that, some of it did, or it would be very late tonight. I don't know that would happen with trick-or-treat time.
Ryan
It would be
wants to
hard
know
to do.
exactly how many inches do you think is going to fall?
0 inches,
Okay,
Ryan.
all
There will
right.
be 0 inches of snow. There'll be no snow, although November 1st is tomorrow when your snow emergencies kick in. I'm sure you're going to talk about that.
Oh, of course.
But no, 0 snow inches accumulating, 0 zippo at all for the next week.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. How about specifically tomorrow? If the people have things going on tomorrow, Gopher game, is it here? I believe it is, right?
Is it? I don't even know. I know they play tomorrow.
So are they?
Are they on? I know we're looking at the
Mike?
bosses.
Mike, are you listening? Mike Durkin, are you listening?
I think they're home because I'm pretty sure they're home because we have them on the 7-day forecast.
Okay,
We put them
so
on the 7-day
then they are
Yes,
home.
they are home.
Okay.
We'll start off with extra clouds and maybe a sprinkle in the morning, but by the time things get in the afternoon, we should crack open the cloud deck. Going to be cooler than average, but average tomorrow's 49. We're aiming for 46.
Okay.
So within what we would typically expect for a first day of November. Breezes remain light, nothing too breezy, but were you up early this morning? You were.
Yeah,
I know you
I
were because
was.
I see you early.
Yeah.
So we had cracks in the cloud cover at sunrise. Sunrise was just before 8 a.m. But we'll have cracks in the cloud deck, so not overcast sky, but mainly cloudy, but broken blue breaking its way through tomorrow.
Okay.
So not exactly the cleanest of skies, but not dour and damp like today.
this.
We dry out and we get mostly cloudy tomorrow.
Okay. Where's your costume?
We don't dress up anymore around these parts.
What do you mean we? I happened to see a meteorologist this morning, full on
Oh, Cody had on his pumpkin suit.
pumpkin suit. That's dressing up.
They don't make a pumpkin suit in my size. Well, I used to. I still have. I dressed up for the buzz for how many years?
Well,
Was that 12 years?
A thing.
And then I always had to limit that because we had the 11 o'clock show, so I couldn't wear beards and a wig anymore because then I had to take it all off for the
Wasn't
11
my
o'clock show.
decision, trust me.
No, trust me, it wasn't mine either. But that got wild. Some of that stuff when we did Game of Thrones.
Oh my gosh, you guys went all out.
Lord, that was so much stuff to put on and take off. I wouldn't mind dressing up again.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you can dress up let's randomly dress up though for like Thanksgiving.
No, you're not even.
Not
Just
like
a random
Thanksgiving,
Tuesday.
You tell me when, and I will do my best to dress up between my last weather hit for the 11 o'clock show and this first one segment. I will dress up for this one little segment.
But then we don't address it at all.
We don't make reference to it.
No, we
at
don't
all.
even reference it. It just happens, and it's glorious. Okay.
And you dress up for just my segment here. And then we toss to a commercial break, and then you have to get back into your regular clothes.
Sounds good. We're going to be showing some photos throughout our show, and I can't wait.
Can we dress up like Mrs. Roper?
Oh, yes,
'Cause that's
we
an easy
can.
one.
It is easy.
Wig and a moo-moo.
Done. Done. We can move.
Hey, did we
like a
get
Saturday
it?
at
We
my
did get
house.
on our picture. I emailed it.
I did. Did we
Okay.
get Keith's picture?
That's all I want to know.
But we're not doing it in this round.
Of course we're not.
Well, we got to save the best stuff for last.
Is Ryan in the booth? Is that it? See,
That's all right. We'll get it in there. But I know we're very excited to see your yard because we've heard all about it. And it's
I
gonna
trust
be
that you'll treat it
amazing.
nicely.
We absolutely will.
Okay, good.
Keith, thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Happy Halloween.
your evening. Happy
Thank you.
Halloween to you. And I hope that it's a very safe evening in your neighborhood. You going to hand out candy?
I'll throw it.
So it won't be safe
Get
at
out
all.
of here, kids.
It won't be safe at all. All right, let's. Are we going to show something? Oh, pictures. Oh, Ryan, thank you. Oh, Kaya, this is sweet.
Oh.
Kaya, so cute. Natalie is our 5 o'clock producer. You've seen her on this show as well, sometimes on Enough Said. And Phil's, Henry. Okay, this is Ryan's baby Henry. Rawr. He did a little rawr. So sweet, baby Henry. Not so much a baby anymore. Oh, Tim. Oh, this is Tim's daughter. Look at, she's getting so big. This is Maddie and her dog Hero. And then also we have one more, I think. Oh, this was yesterday at our Halloween party. Ian with Kelsey, Randy, and Simone. Yeah, there you go. It's the group.
What? I don't understand.
We don't need comments from the peanut gallery. I know what you're going to say. Just kidding. That's like Ian.
I'm not the peanut gallery. I'm one of the old men Muppets.
You really are. We love you for it, Keith. Thank you so much. Let's take a quick break. We will be right back after this. Much more to come on All Day.
Fox 9 all day.
Nikki.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Happy Halloween. All right, we're going to do some regional headlines here for you. Let's do this right now. Let me scroll down here a little bit. Let's start it off in Des Moines. We're going to go to Iowa first, where voters there are going to be deciding on a $265 million bond to support what's being called Reimagining Education Initiative. The district there in Des Moines planning to use the money to upgrade school buildings across the district, expand access from preschool up, and then the district, if it's approved, says that the average taxpayer would pay about $200 a year, $16 a month. So a big decision for voters in that Des Moines school district. To St. Cloud now. Let's go to St. Cloud, where battling the ash borer, a battle here against thousands of these trees that are infested. So St. Cloud Live with this story. The city has a plan now to combat emerald ash borer. They say that the ash trees make up about 20% of St. Cloud's tree canopy. Half of that is on city property, and the city is usually hoping that bonding funds from the state can be used to remove those. So kind of keep an eye on that. If you have one on private property, homeowners are, well, you're left with some pretty costly treatments. Removing the tree, it gets expensive. So looking at those solutions in St. Cloud for the ash borer. All right, let's go. Fargo, brand new airport parking ramp. Well, it's already been damaged by, this will surprise no one, the wind. The wind there. I went to school there, lived there for a long time, and this is on brand. Fargo Forum reporting that wind gusts of 50 miles an hour blew off a protective layer of rubber on that parking ramp. Brand new. No vehicles were damaged or anything. The $47 million parking ramp at Hector International just opened in August. It will stay open though during the repairs, so that's good. But if you're flying out of there, you're going to probably run into that. Alrighty, let's do this. Ooh, yeah, let's go. So she found it. Yes, I was hoping we kind of sent her on an adventure. We said, here's an address. We haven't contacted anybody, but we know that there's something really interesting happening at this address. Why don't you go? And there she is. Lauren, you found it. Tell us what you found and where you are.
It's true. Yeah. Hi, Amy. I am in Eden Prairie at a home where for the last 10 years there has been a line down the street of trick-or-treaters. For good reason. They're serving cotton candy. And do you know what cotton candy's worst nightmare is? Rain. So it's apt for Halloween. This is the homeowner. Her name is Laura. She's got an amazing display behind us that we'll show you in a minute. I'll show you right now. But here is the star of the show. Laura, you've been serving up cotton candy for trick-or-treaters. Tell us how this all got started.
Well, we got started because we love Halloween, and then every year it just got bigger and bigger, and we started with the cotton candy, and we have a line all the way down the driveway.
And you've got all sorts of different colors, so this is a real hobby, Laura, that you've invested into. How many people are you serving? How many cotton candies are you handing out?
We'll have well over 100.
So we're hoping to stay as dry as we can. Otherwise,
Yes.
I've seen some kids put down cotton candy pretty fast. I think they'll be able to eat it before it all disintegrates.
They will, for sure.
Let's take a look at this display because for about a decade, Laura and her husband have been putting together quite a frightening display for trick-or-treaters. Look at this graveyard, Amy. These are all gravestones. And Laura, explain this to me. These are some neighbor kids' names. There's a story behind these gravestones.
Yes, we use the neighborhood kids' names in the tombstones. Although Dan Lee, that's my husband.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, he updated his status to undead. That's good. And this is all, you're crafty. You made all this yourself.
Yes, I did. I made them all myself.
Okay, let's all turn around. I want to make sure we can hear while we're going on. Grace, you might have to take a couple steps back. You're a little bit tiny, but I want to show the roof because there is about a dozen menacing skeletons attached to the roof. Laura, you and your husband go up on the roof to put these all up, and this is the most time-intensive part of the display.
Yes, it is.
Tell me a little bit about how you put this together. You had to actually turn their skulls up so that they're facing us?
Yes, I modify their necks so their skulls will be up. And then the one with his head in his hand, I was modifying his neck. The head fell off, so I thought, well, I'll just glue it to his hand.
Well, that's what they say. Heads will roll, right?
Yes.
I feel like kids get a really big kick out of this, Laura. What do you hear from them?
They do. They love it. They all know this as the Cotton Candy House. And as we're putting up the decorations every year, people are coming by and kids are coming by and they say they can't wait.
Oh my gosh. Let's take a look at some of the new additions. Something Laura told me.
Oh, oh no. Okay, we're just gonna hang for a second, you know, like the skeletons. We're just gonna hang out for a second and maybe it'll snap back. Snap back. Oh, bummer. This is a real bummer. I know, Ryan. I hear you. I know. I don't. You know what? Oh, darn it. She was just about to show us the new stuff. Okay, well, why don't we'll reset that and then maybe she can, like, you know, click out and turn the thing off and on and maybe it'll just start working magically. She's right here in Eden Prairie. It should be working, right? We'll try to get back with Lauren because we got to see what's going on there. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. And as we go to break, Ryan's telling me that we have some more photos to show you. Let's see what we have. Who's up now? I think we have. Oh, okay. This is Mr. Lori Fisher. This is Sean, and the reason we're showing Sean, not just because he's a costume, it's Sean's birthday today. And when your birthday is on Halloween, you get a shout out from us. Oh my goodness, Dana Bishop's cat Jarvis, Chewy, Chewbacca is so cute. And did we show the other one too? Our other cat, George. George is a lion. Oh, so cute, little George. And then the Fox 9 creative team. Creative folks who are, well, they're very creative. They, this was our holiday party yesterday. They're the Ghostbusters, of course, duh. So cute. Very, very good. You can definitely send us your photos if you'd like. I don't know, we're not gonna get through all of them today, so maybe we just keep doing this Monday. And allday@fox.com is the address. But we'll be right back with some more of All Day Live. Thanks for being with us today on this Halloween. and welcome back to All Day Live. We're glad that you're here with us. It's 12:26 on this Friday, and we continue our coverage of the SNAP benefits, which we know will end tomorrow for the hundreds of thousands of people here in Minnesota and millions around the country because of the government shutdown. We wanted to take you to St. Paul right now, and joining me is, help me out, is it Andrea? Is it Andrea?
It's Andrea, yes.
Andrea Thomas, who runs Nourish Food Shelf. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Amy.
Yeah, so we want to talk about quite a few things with you, but first, it's my understanding that you actually had an opportunity to testify in front of the subcommittee on the federal impact on Minnesotans for things like SNAP. Is that right? And what did you have a chance to talk about?
That is correct. At the request of Second Harvest Heartland, I was able to testify before the Senate subcommittee, and what I shared with them was how things are going for food shelves, for those who visit food shelves, and how we're being severely impacted. There's not enough food right now to go around, but even more so, we are seeing our numbers increase every week. Every week we have new individuals and families come to the food shelf, and there are those who never thought that they would be at a food shelf. And so we were asking for help and letting them know just how this is going to impact everyone.
Yeah, Nourish is the food shelf that you run, and I want to learn more about that here in a minute. I'm curious, though, as you take a look at what you have right now, as you head into this weekend, where we know that the SNAP benefits are going to expire, what are you seeing right now as you look at what you have, and how are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling a little nervous, but we prepared as best we could, but I don't know that anyone can be fully prepared for what's going to happen. We have been fielding calls all week, and through the 211 system, and then just through word of mouth about our food shelf. And in the midst of even the SNAP benefits, we've had other I guess emergencies happen in our direct vicinity that we've also responded to. And so it becomes a concern when we can't, first of all, get enough product from our food bank, and then our budgets are already stretched thin. So, but we're determined that we're going to serve everyone that comes through our doors. And it may not be that everyone takes away as much food as usual, but we want to make sure that everyone has something.
So tell us about Nourish. Who do you serve? Where are you? How many people are you serving?
Sure. Nourish is a food shelf that is actually a program of Mount Olivet Lab School Incorporated. We are located right at the intersection of Frogtown and the Rondo communities. We serve approximately 250 to sometimes 300 families at each distribution. We have our main distributions on Saturdays, but then also on Sundays, we do something a little different where we only serve senior citizens and those who are immunocompromised. And our reasoning behind that is that we know that our seniors can't stand as long as some of younger neighbors. And then also those that are immunocompromised don't necessarily need to be in close quarters with everyone. So we reserve that time specifically on Sundays from 12:30 till 1:30. And then on Saturdays for our general distribution, it's 10 o'clock till 12. And then if we have calls come in through the 211 system, we will actually take appointments during the week for those.
Wow. So for instance, for tomorrow, what do people need to know if they wake up in the morning and they say, okay, I got to figure out what my options are?
Yes, tomorrow if we wake up in the morning and you need food, come to our address at 376 Western Avenue North in St. Paul. You don't need to bring ID. There are no requirements like that. We just, our only requirement is that, the person or the family needs food. We're trusting everyone to be honest about that, especially realizing the situation, and to be mindful that we're serving a lot of families. And so, we do that with respect, with kindness, and we want people to be able to shop with dignity.
I was reading just, and I'm sure these numbers are kind of generally speaking, but I was reading 250 families a week. You have about 1,000 individuals a week. Also, the senior high-rise building, schools, people who call the 211 number asking for food help as well. I mean, the community you serve is far and wide and great here. I'm curious how are people feeling as you're talking to people who are coming to Nourish? How are they feeling? What are they saying to you right now?
They are feeling anxious. You mentioned a list of, organizations that we partner with, that we serve. Part of what we do is we interrupt homelessness. So we have those that have just come out of being unhoused, and they are really nervous because, food is a great expense. But when you have to kind of weigh that against paying your rent, for seniors, when you weigh that against buying medication, one of the first things people will give up is food, but we know moms have to feed their children. And seniors have to have some kind of nutrition to be healthy. And our focus is to make sure that our community is well nourished. Yeah.
Yeah, and we know there's not going to be there's no vote scheduled in Capitol Hill until Monday, so it looks like right now this will continue, and every hour or day that goes by is another hour, day without food for some people, or not enough food for some people. Can you let us know what is the best way for people who can help, they want to help? Is dropping off a bunch of food helpful for you, or is that more work? Is it money? Like, what is most helpful for an organization like Nourish?
Yeah, money, a financial contribution is the most helpful. We know that everyone's not able to do that, but for those that can, having a financial contribution is most helpful, because when we can purchase through our food bank. We can buy things in quantity that would cost a lot less than if someone were to just go to the store. But we know that, not everyone has that option. And so we're grateful for, whatever people can do. Also, volunteering is a great way to help. When we volunteer at Nourish, we understand that it is not self-serving. Although our volunteers, if they need food, they can get food, and we do the same amounts that those neighbors that are coming in would get, and so we just approach it with a heart of service. And before I let you go, just kind of on a side note here, I wanted to follow up, because the last time our audience was introduced to you, or Maury Glover came out and did a story, it was about a year ago, when Nourish was actually forced out of that Mount Olivet Baptist Church location, and you were looking for a new home at that point. How are things going now for you, and in this current situation? We've had about a good year with the Union Gospel Mission Twin Cities. They opened what is known to most in St. Paul as the old Oberboys Club. However, they are about to renovate that building. And so in the midst of everything that is going on with cuts to SNAP benefits, we are also finding ourselves in a position of having to find a new space. That probably concerns us more than anything, because we need to be able to do this work. Nourish actually supplies about 40% of the food that actually goes out into Frogtown through food assistance. And so it's really imperative that we be able to continue that work in supporting families, so that we can build healthy community.
How much time do you have?
We have until the end of the year, till December 31st, but this is Minnesota, and so we want to try to make something happen before then, so that we're not moving items in the midst of bad weather. So
are you looking for a new location? Is there any way to remedy it so that you can stay in that location, or not?
It's not an option for us to stay in that location, because Union Gospel is growing, and some of their plans have shifted, and so we have to be adaptable to that.
So a new location is what you're looking for,
Yes.
Obviously preferably in the same area, so you can serve the same neighborhoods and people in that sort of Frogtown area.
Yeah. Preferably in the same area. We have a lot of neighbors that don't have transportation, and we haven't built our capacity to be able to deliver to all of them either. And so preferably in the same location, but when it really comes down to it, we really just need a space where we can operate.
Yeah, I'm sorry having to go through all of that on top of the situation that you're trying to navigate right now with the increased need and now this weekend and into next week. Hopefully it can come to an end shortly and people will get their benefits really quickly. In the meantime, we'll continue to check in with you and see how things are going, and you know, let us know the progress of trying to find a new space. That's really, it's hard to hear that you're having to deal with that. We're really sorry. But thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Okay, all right, take care.
All right, thank you.
All right. Okay.
Amy, you asked me a question, and I wanted to try to get an answer to it for you.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I was wondering, and I didn't have a chance to look into this, but you know, once, assuming the government kicks back in and things start back up, at what point would people get their benefits? Would it be right away, or is there going to be a delay?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit unclear, but what I can tell you is that right now there are a couple judges who could rule as early as today on whether they will force the Trump administration to make these to issue these benefits here. And even if that did happen today, that people would likely not get those benefits right away, and that it could take up to a week or two until those benefits start getting into accounts. So I know that's not exactly, because this is specific to whether the judge makes a ruling on this.
Yeah.
Now, whether once the shutdown ends, whether that just starts up again, whether that process is faster is unclear, but in this case, it sounds like it could take some time. So,
okay.
That's a very complicated answer.
No, yeah, I know. I wish it would have. You know, I wish there was a yes answer to that. I'm looking something up here because this was a story that was posted by the city of Minneapolis within the last 24 hours. But I asked the state, the commissioner from the state about this as well. But it says on October 27th, Governor Walz announced the state of Minnesota would provide $4 million in emergency funds to support food shelves. So we know that there is an effort, at least here in Minnesota, to hopefully get at least the food shelves to a place where they can meet needs in the immediate future. And I'm not an expert on how far $4 million is going to go across, you know, hundreds of food shelves in the state. But
the governor called that just a bridge, a short bridge.
Yes.
It was by no means a long-term solution.
Yeah. But so, you know, when we talk to some of the food shelves and things, you may see that, like, right now they might be okay, maybe some of them not, I don't know, but like in Nourish's case, they have some things now, but we don't know what's going to happen this weekend. We don't know how many people are going to come in. We don't know, you know, there's also a sense of panic too, you know, when, you know, you're not sure, and so then you just think, well, let's just, so you may see an influx of people that you wouldn't expect to see in as well. So it's just so unpredictable. But again, the Senate is, there's no vote today. There's no vote scheduled today. They are not in session today. Some of the bipartisan group of kind of the, you know, what term did I use earlier? Some of the people who, you know, the people who have a little bit more power in the decision making are going to continue talks throughout the weekend. But who knows if anything will come of that, but another session is not scheduled for Monday, and of course we don't know if there's a vote scheduled at all. So we'll see how this
goes. Yeah, I mean, we kind of are in between a rock and a hard place here. Yep. Democrats have made it very clear that they want to talk health care before the government reopens. The Republicans have been open to that idea, but they want the government open first, and then they will come back and address the health care stuff later. So that has not changed, and we are on day 30, I believe. Yeah,
and so on Monday, if we come back, I believe Monday would tie for the longest shutdown at 35 days on Monday. So that's where we are. Okay, let's see. 12:40 is the time.
Should we transition a little to sports
yeah,
here?
we need to do that. And then I know we're gonna be hearing from Commissioner Tiki Brown shortly as well. Is Rob's working on that for us? Yeah.
Yeah, we're working to get that interview ready to go.
Great.
That you did on tape here, and we should have that within.
Yep, she was only available right before the show, so we got her because we really wanted to hear from the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, because they are the ones that are really at the forefront of kind of overseeing the distribution here in Minnesota, even though they're federal funds. So that conversation with her is coming up. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about as we close out this first hour, a few things. So I got a little psyched out yesterday when I was home last night and I turned the TV on and there was a World Series game that was like on the top of my thing and I was like, wait, no, but Ryan said it was tomorrow, and it was.
You're the second person who has said this to me.
Really?
Yes, that apparently they showed a replay of Game 5.
YouTube TV. I think it was Game 1, but I'm not sure. But yeah. But all of a sudden it was like live, and it said, and I was like, and it was in progress, and I went, well, Ryan was wrong. They're playing tonight. Should have known better. You would know. But yeah, it psyched me out a little bit. But Game 6.
It's tonight.
Yep.
And Leo, if we can look, there we go. Inside Rogers Center right now.
You love this this stadium.
I do. It was fun to visit it. It's fun. It was fun to see it. So yeah, here we're looking at a live look. This is Game 6 tonight. The Toronto Blue Jays could win their first World Series in 32 years. Their last World Series win came on a dramatic Joe Carter home run. So we'll see what's in store for tonight. As Game 6 gets underway here on Fox. First pitch just after 7 o'clock. Both teams.
What do you think?
What do I think for tonight?
Yeah, like, you know, I'm sure you know who's pitching and.
I do.
Okay.
Both teams will start their best pitchers tonight. Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays, and then Yamamoto for the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers probably get it tonight.
Okay.
I think they have the edge in the starting pitching, but I think the Blue Jays eventually will win the series. They are behind that. That is a very energetic crowd. You can see the roof is closed. That noise stays inside, and that has been a problem for opponents who have come into that building. So that's my prediction. Before the series started, I said Dodgers in 5, so I'm going Blue Jays in 7 now. So, but
I think that's probably a pretty good safe bet. I think. I don't know. No, who's other than like diehard Dodgers fans? Who's rooting against the Blue Jays really? Anybody?
Well, we know all of Canada is rooting for Toronto.
Yes, absolutely.
I think they are in a weird way, they are the underdogs. They have a better record than the Dodgers, but they are the underdogs.
Yeah. Do you have they ever won a World Series?
Toronto. Yes, they had 32 years ago. Yep.
Oh, but
They've
just
won a
like
couple.
once or two. Okay. Well, then if we're keeping count, then it's the Blue Jays' turn again. Okay. Also, I just really quickly here, I know we're kind of all over the place, but I just saw Paul Bloom pop something into to the Slack channel here about, looks like, hang on, let me make sure, jury deliberations are underway in the case against Lyndon Wiggins. This is the murder of Monique Bao, the realtor who showed up, was lured to a fake showing in Maple Grove a couple of years ago, and so this is now this retrial for Lyndon Wiggins, and it looks like they may be deliberating right now. So just that little note from Paul. All right, let's see. The Minnesota Vikings are not here this weekend, right? They're in Detroit. We know that J.J. McCarthy, we're going to see him leading this team for the first time
since week 2.
Weeks, yeah. I mean, it's been a while. So a lot's happened since then. We've had every season there's some sort of, as the world turns with a quarterback situation, and this year no different. And unfortunately this year different in that it's just sucked. It's just been awful.
It's been tough. 3-4.
Yep. It's been a rough season. Do you, and I say this as a diehard, I love this team so much. do they have a chance to win against Detroit?
There's always a chance, right? I would say this is going to be a tough task. Essentially a rookie quarterback taking the field for the first time since early September, mid-September, and to face this Detroit Lions team. I think, okay, so let's take the focus off J.J. McCarthy for a second, because we know kind of the obstacle that he's facing and trying to get back into this offense. The defense, we know how good the Lions offense has been. The defense has really had some troubles. They had a lot of trouble against the Chargers last week, and then 2 weeks ago against the Eagles. They're giving up a lot of points. They're giving up a lot in the air, too. So Jared Goff and that offense, I mean, I think that is going, if they can't stop Detroit, J.J. McCarthy has no chance to begin with. So I think we're looking for the defense to improve, and we're looking for J.J. McCarthy to obviously continue his progress and be the starter that we hope that he will be for the rest of this season and for seasons to come.
Okay. All right.
Another complicated answer to your question.
You know,
it's not as simple as.
No, nothing is.
Yes
when you're a Minnesota fan, nothing is simple. I was just looking to see when the Wolves play. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock. They play the Hornets, and then the
Wild. They should get that one.
They should, Ryan. You know. Yeah, anyway, we won't talk about that.
I know,
we need Ann back. I think we can't really get everybody working on all cylinders when we have that key piece. And I know injuries happen, but when it happens right out of the gate like that, you just don't ever really catch your footing. And so, yeah, that's just.
Even that toned down body of his, he wasn't out there.
He was still, so the first game they played, where he did play that first game, he was still gassed after the first quarter. Like, he looked great. He looked like he had, really gotten in good shape. But he was huffing and puffing after that first quarter. And I was like, I mean, he's just, he's still there. But yeah, the injuries, Ryan, and I don't have the answer, and I know you don't either, but my gosh, I know there are always injuries in
this is why we load manage, right? I mean, this is why
when Ant is out for more than 5 minutes, we know that there's something's going on. It's weird. I don't know. A lot of big major injuries too. It's really, really tough. Okay, do we have to talk about the Wild?
No, we don't have to spend a lot of time on them. They've lost 5 in a row now. They've lost 8 of their last 9. They are off to a horrid start, and they got to turn that thing around. Otherwise, it's going to be a long season. For the Wild.
Canucks Wild 6 o'clock on Saturday, and of course the Vikings high noon.
Canucks are banged up though. They got a lot of people hurt. Speaking of injuries.
Okay, well, we'll see. Good luck. I hope the Wild can turn that around, man. That's tough. That mentally's got to be just.
It's a tough start.
5 down.
They got to get some. They got to get some wins here.
Okie dokie. 12:48 is our time.
Do a little more Halloween photos here before going to break.
Let's do it. We'll go to break, and much more to come here on All Day Live, and a great second hour too. I mean, I'm really excited about the second hour.
Get some good interviews.
Really good stuff. So, all right. Let's see who we have. We showed you. Okay, you saw it live here yesterday. That's Lori Fisher and Melissa Turton in Men in Black. And then Paul Milgate is at Van Gogh. Look at the ear, and he's holding the ear in his hand. This is great. Okay, to the right, our general manager, Mim Davey. And then HR Director Kate O'Hara to your left. Right in the middle, smack dab, looking so happy is Jason Matheson. Very cute. Oh, Chanu sent us this Shrek-themed Halloween party tonight. Halloween big in his family, so thank you for sharing that. And then, Panya Yang, look out. Look at this, incredible. She's a showstopper no matter what. And then speaking of showstoppers, Simone Woolridge and Ahmad Hicks. There I come, the baby, but he's not really a baby anymore. Little Houston is Clifford, and just stop it. Just stop it right now with how perfect and adorable this child is. We're going to be right back. You can send us your stuff too if you want. We love to show some of your photos, your house, yourself, your kids, your pets, all day at fox.com. You can just stay on this picture for the rest of the show. That'd be great. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. After more than a year and a half of road construction, Hennepin Avenue in Uptown is back open. So we're talking about a portion from Lake Street, kind of in the heart of Uptown, over to Douglas Avenue. The city spent more than $30 million to make that stretch safer. They say it's more accessible now. And of course, it's a big relief now that it's done for drivers and those businesses along that stretch. Earlier today, just a short time ago, there was a ribbon cutting ceremony, a bit of a press conference. We wanted to bring you a portion of that.
I remember standing not too far from here about a year ago as we were opening the southern portion, and we were standing here with Jeff Weigel from Isles Buns and Coffee. And Jeff sadly passed in April of this year, but as we think about Jeff, he's the kind of person that has made Uptown special. There are so many business owners and people that make this area what it is and what it can be. There are people that contribute greatly. They pour their heart and their vision into making Uptown something truly extraordinary. And now the street is going to be back open. New life is going to be breathed into this awesome neighborhood, and Uptown is gonna go through a full change. There will be a renaissance that takes place here, and it is because of all of the people that make this spot incredible. And so on this street now, the traffic is going to be substantially calmed. It will be greener. You're gonna have an easier time getting across the street, and whether you are driving, riding a bicycle, or walking along, this will be a place where you want to be. And by the way, this street largely had not been done for about 70 years. We're not just talking about the surface level asphalt. We're talking about the guts of the street had not been completed. And I was just talking to these incredible workers back here, these public works crews that have made this all possible and have gotten this done a bit even ahead of time. And they were telling me that as they were digging up the pipes and they were replacing the water main, and as they were doing all the work, they were taking out streetcar bricks. There was literally rail that was in the street. And they also found this amazing reuses. They took those bricks, they put them on the corners, people took them and using them for their patios. The rail line itself, there are museums that focus on streetcars that have been able to reuse those as well. And so this is truly something special.
I want to really welcome everybody back to the businesses that have gone through all of this for the past 2 years. We have wonderful new businesses coming into the area, which are going to be really important to support, and also all of the old businesses and existing businesses that have been here for 30 plus years. So please, 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 everybody, come down to Uptown and support us and come back. It's a wonderful place to be and a wonderful place to work.
And just want to let you know about some of the things that we are covering for this next hour as well. Off the top, we're going to be talking more about the SNAP benefits that are running out. Our Mike Manzoni is covering this for us today, and we'll have the very latest, some more details for you there. And then we're going to be talking with John Gordon is a leadership guru, and many of you have probably read his books, 18 best-selling books on leadership and other topics that are sort of related to that. Really talks about positivity. He's going to be joining us here at 1:15. Really looking forward to that interview, as he's like the guy that the NFL and the Major League Baseball and the NBA, like, this is the guy they turn to. So we're excited to talk to him. And then we're going to take it down to Dodge County, where there's a family-owned farm there that's trying to help out with folks who may be needing some food this weekend as the SNAP benefits are running out. And Donnie, the lost dog, came home after 50 days, 50 days. So we are going to check in on Donnie too at the end of the next hour. So we'll see you back here in just a couple of minutes. Thanks for being with us for All Day Live today. It is 1 o'clock as we enter our second hour of coverage here of the things that are going on right now, locally, nationally, globally, but right now we're focusing on the local scene because we know that SNAP food benefits, this used to be called food stamps, if that's a more familiar term for you and how they're used. Well, these are set to be put on pause starting tomorrow because of the government shutdown, and it affects roughly 1 in 8 Americans who rely on this particular program to supplement or to flat out just buy the food that they need. Our Mike Manzoni is covering this story for us today, and a couple different angles here. Tell us a little bit about something's tied up in the courts right now, where there's some judges involved. What is that?
So 25 states, including Minnesota, have sued the administration. They're trying to get it to, or try to get a court to force the administration to release some federal funds. These are emergency funds that were set aside in these kinds of cases. The administration is saying that it doesn't need to use these or can't use these. The states disagree. They say that this is an emergency. And so a federal judge in Massachusetts, where the arguments were heard yesterday, is going to be issuing a ruling any time now. She said that she would do that today. If that happens, the reserve funds would at least partially continue to fund the program for 42 million people, including more than 400,000 here in Minnesota. But the judge, who expressed some skepticism over the administration's arguments yesterday during the hearings, acknowledged that it wouldn't be a quick fix. There could be delays, and it wouldn't cover all of the gap. But that is something that we're expected to get a ruling on at really any minute now.
Wow, yeah, it sounds promising when you say it, but then to your point, the administration of it or the execution of it may not be. So stay tuned, I guess, on this. But interesting that we could get even a ruling on that today. And then I know you're just taking a look at the local scene here to see. We have greater Minnesota. We have more urban areas. The effect is really it's not discriminating. It's everywhere here.
Yeah, we talked with the food group in New Hope yesterday, and that's they describe themselves as kind of like think of it as a Costco wholesaler for the different food banks. They kind of have a big warehouse, and then they distribute all the food. They're getting a lot more donations. They're getting the word out. They're doing what they can. But they said, just for some context, $70 million in food benefits each month from SNAP just here in Minnesota alone. So even with more donations, the likelihood that they're going to be able to make up for a gap of $70 million is just not likely. In fact, there's almost no chance that happens. And so the concern is that if this shutdown drags on deep into November, at some point they anticipate that they are probably going to run out of food, or at least not be able to meet the demand of all the people. They supply the food banks here in the Twin Cities metro. We also stopped by Catholic Charities, the kitchen in downtown St. Paul. They told us that they average, give or take, 750 meals a day to people. They do 3 meals a day. Many of their guests are on SNAP, and they said even just the threat of losing those benefits has sent more people to their kitchen. They're now over 1,000 meals a day. They're happy to do it. They have a lot of volunteers there, but they said that's just not sustainable. If that continues for too much longer, they said for the first time in a long time, they may actually have to start turning people away, which is something that they want to try to avoid.
My goodness. Okay. All right. And then you'll have something for us at 5 tonight?
Yes, 5 and 6 o'clock.
Okay, 5 and 6. All right, we'll look forward to seeing some of that, and of course, all those stories online too. All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, take care. And we do have a lot of resources too on our website. Just wanted to mention as well. I'm just going to go on really quick right now because it's been a couple of hours since I jumped on here. But hang on, because I know. As in addition to the articles that we have, there are a lot of resources, including lists of things like restaurants. There are so many restaurants that are stepping up, chains locally owned that are offering free meals, some sort of free food for people this weekend who find themselves in need of food. But yeah, you can find all of that. There are several stories on our website with all kinds of resources and websites. You really have to, keep talking about it so we make sure everybody has the resources they need. Also, Second Harvest Heartland is a resource that just going on their website alone was very, very helpful. A ton of resources there, and they have, I learned yesterday, have a grant for staffing the largest number of people who can kind of help out with SNAP benefit information, getting people signed up, that kind of thing. So you can always go to Second Harvest Heartland. It's a good resource as well, and also a food shelf. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and we'll check the weather though first, because we had Keith here earlier, and he told us what was happening. Yeah, it's going to be maybe a little damp, a little drizzly, but not a washout. Doesn't look like for anybody for tonight for Halloween. You just kind of just dress appropriately. You know, and yeah, we can't wait to see more pictures. I'm seeing some of them coming in right now, so thank you for sending those all day at fox.com. If you want to send us your Halloween pictures, whether it's yourself. Thank you, Megan, for Megan just sent this to us, and this is super cute. Hopefully we can get that one on. If not, I'll just show it to you in a minute. But send us all day at fox.com any photos you have, pets, yourself, your house, whatever is decorated in the Halloween spirit. We'd love to see it. Let's check the weather, and we'll be right back after this quick break.
Well, happy Halloween. We are looking at a day today that is cloudy and a bit dreary and kind of want to be damp more than anything else as we go on out for the day today. We've got these disorganized attempted showers that kind of fill in the blanks, more of a general dampness for the day today as we have a high today around 44. We're kind of parked in these low to mid 40s for the day today. The old dead cold front from yesterday haunts us for this Halloween as its spirit lives on with this sense of eerie moisture that wants to fall as a shower but doesn't. So we end up with these sprinkles and these spritzes, maybe an occasional very weak drip here and there. Otherwise kind of cloudy for the day today. 44 degrees for your high. For trick-or-treat time, as we slide on into those evening hours, we'll fall off into the low 40s as the sun goes down at 6:02. By the time we wrap things up at 7:30 or 8 o'clock tonight, and maybe you're shutting down your lights at 8, maybe 8:30. Maybe 9 if people keep ding-donging here and there. You still got some candy. Well, we'll fall around 40 degrees by 9 o'clock or so, maybe even 39. But again, that eerie cloud cover hangs around with that misty dampness that pervades. If you're a parent taking your kiddos out, even if you go out at 4 or 4:30, maybe you take your umbrella. You might not even open it, but you might end up just slightly damp here and there. There'll be some weak showers that you're going to be hard to track on radar here and there. And we're going to fall to the 30s overnight tonight, then back to the mid-40s as we go on to the day tomorrow with mostly cloudy sky. Still below average as we welcome November. An average November high, first day of November would be 49, so close. Then jumping above average, partly sunny on Sunday, 54 for your high. Daylight saving time kicks out, so we end up with a sunset at 4:59, excuse me, on Sunday afternoon. And then we warm up, mid to upper 50s. We might even flirt with a couple of 60s for part of the viewing area on Tuesday, and we stay above average heading into the middle to end of next work week. Fox 9 All Day Live continues. We're back right after this Halloween break.
All right, welcome back to All Day Live. Sometimes we just kind of get news releases and we just want to kind of share that information as quickly as we get it as stories are happening. And this one, Ryan, is coming to us from the Minnesota Department of Human Services, and this is involving that Housing Stabilization Services program that's been in the news and the headlines because of the rampant fraud. And we've seen, different indictments and things like that. But that program officially ending October 31st.
Today.
Yeah, today. Can I just read through some of this release?
Yep.
And then maybe could you give us a little, you could give us a little bit of background or fill in some of the
Absolutely.
backfill?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So let me just kind of read this again. I'm kind of getting this the same time everybody else is, but the Minnesota Department of Human Services in August announced an interest in terminating this program because of the widespread fraud. Well, that termination recently received final approval from the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. This was launched in 2020. Housing Stabilization Services. It was a medical assistance benefit, and it was designed to help seniors and people with disabilities, including substance use disorders, find and keeping housing, and of course, medical assistance is Minnesota's Medicaid program. They say they're upset. It's upsetting that they have to shut this down. The state, the Minnesota legislature, and the Department of Human Services took strong actions this year to improve oversight of housing stabilization services with more stringent requirements for vetting providers and additional tools for investigating fraud. However, as the scope of fraud in that program became more apparent, the agency decided that Minnesota could not afford to wait and see how effective the new program integrity measures would be. So, also interesting, the Department of Human Services received and responded to more than 200 comments during a 30-day public comment period about the end of the program, and then published a summary of the comments online. That's public. You can go find that. One of the most common themes was concern for program participants affected by the program's termination, right? What happens to people who may have needed help. The Department of Human Services is coordinating with counties, tribes, urban Indian organizations, and managed care organizations to identify resources to help the people who were impacted by the end of the HSS, these services. Many of those resources are available. Let's see. Also, if you go to the Department of Human Services website here in Minnesota, you can find all of this information, including the press release and some more resources. But that is the new that just happened. That just came out just a couple of minutes ago. That is done as of today. So.
Yeah, and Amy, if you remember back in September, federal prosecutors charged 8 people in connection with defrauding this program that was started in 2020. Acting U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson at the time announced these charges. Millions of dollars have been defrauded as a result of this scheme, and they expect more charges to come as they look deeper and deeper into this. But yes, as you kind of said, Amy, in 2020, this program was started to help seniors and people with disabilities, including those with mental illnesses, substance abuse, to find stable housing. Yeah. And this program was estimated to cost about $2.5 million a year, but it grew very quickly, and the program ended up paying a total of $320 million in claims over 4.5 years as hundreds of companies enrolled in this program and claimed to provide housing stabilization services to clients across the state. And we know from these charges that was not always the case. 8 people charged, so they investigated it, and now today that program is officially done.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember, we had the state auditor who's decided not to run. We had Julie Blaha on a couple of months ago, and there was this whole, we asked, because so many people are asking the question, how could all of this fraud happen? Who was supposed to oversee this? And having the state auditor on, you would think, well, that's a natural question for the state auditor. Julie Blaha, the state auditor at that time, told us, and this is true. So the state auditor actually has a different definition in different states, as it pertains to what they do, their job. And it's actually in Minnesota, the legislative auditor which doesn't make a lot of sense, you know, inherently, but the legislative auditor is the one that would investigate, oversee state programs like this. And she had mentioned that, and if you look at the timing on this one and some of the other fraud that we've seen, I'm not trying to make an excuse here, but she had just said that 2020 was the year when much of this was being distributed and administered, and at that time the people weren't in place, the staffing wasn't in place to see how this would all play out. So
think about where we were in 2020
exactly.
with the pandemic too. So you already have you have all this outside stuff, and you have these programs that have just started that they're trying to kind of get a grip on how to distribute this money. So yes, a difficult time, again, not to make any excuses.
Yeah, and all we're doing is just, you know, just letting you know that according to someone who, you know, was in the know, close to what's going on, said that was what was happening at the time, and that's according to the state auditor. So there's a lot of pieces to these puzzles, but that, according to her, was one of them. So we'll continue to follow all of that, but yeah, the fraud stories, it's really hard for even us who follow these every week. There's more every day. Sometimes there's more. It's really hard to kind of follow along, and there's just been so much to cover. Ryan, how are we looking for?
Our next guest is here. Let me get him ready to go here. Give me a second. I'm going to leave you just for a minute here.
Please do, and then I'm just going to update folks on another story that we've been following, not here, but in Michigan, because it was earlier today when we learned that the FBI said that it actually thwarted a possible terror attack that they said was planned for this weekend. So multiple suspects arrested for allegedly plotting a violent attack over the Halloween weekend. They say that they're describing it as a jihadi terrorist in Detroit style attack. No current threat right now, so the information has just been kind of trickling out throughout the day. But early this morning, if you saw the FBI Director Kash Patel talking about this, that is what they were talking about, and we don't have any other details as to where or anything like that, but wanted to pass that along. Okay, let me get organized here. Sorry, everybody, hang with me 1 second here, because I want to make sure I do this right, because I've only been waiting about 2 to 3 months. It's one of these interviews that I'm so excited about, so excited. Okay, so our next guest is literally one of the top leadership speakers and authors, you know, in the world. 32 books, 18 bestsellers. He is literally the consultant for the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, not to mention countless, you know, CEOs, big name brands, Campbell's Soup, Southwest Airlines, West Point Academy, you name it. He's been there and he's helped. Not to mention, of course, the countless, you know, millions of people just like you and me, who he has helped develop a more positive mindset. John Gordon joins me now. Such a privilege to have you on All Day Live. Thank you.
It's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
So I've been following you for a very, very long time and read many of your books, but you caught my eye this past summer because I'm scrolling through X, Twitter, and I see a picture of you, and I'm like, wait, I know this place. You're at TCO in Eagan, Minnesota. Tell us what you were doing there this past summer.
I was there speaking to the Minnesota Vikings, and I loved my time with them. Just amazing guys. Kevin O'Connell, great coach, great leader, great people. I just loved it. I loved that team. Had such a great experience with them. They were so dialed in when I was speaking, and they just really absorbed the message. I know they're having a challenging season, but those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they and we talk a lot about, and I think we're known for here, our culture throughout the NFL, and you know, KOC's really been at the head of that. What types of qualities do you see in some of these? I know you work with a lot of different teams and leaders and coaches and players. What qualities are you seeing in some of these leaders in professional sports that really stand out to you as being different?
Well, let's talk about KOC. Kevin really leads with integrity. He is such a man of integrity, deep faith, deep strength, really committed, really just loves his guys, is willing to challenge them, but also encourage and support them. He will listen to them. And so great leaders have a ton of integrity. They have a ton of optimism and belief. They have a lot of resilience through the adversity and the challenges and the struggles, like right now. you need a leader like that who's going to stay positive and optimistic and keep pouring into their team, helping them get better. I've also worked with Dabo Sweeney for the past 13 years. I work with Dave Roberts and the Dodgers, and they've all experienced tough times, but how do you respond? I work with Evan Spiegel and Snapchat, now called Snap, years ago when they were really struggling, went in there, talked about optimism, belief, and he was able to turn around that company with that optimistic, positive mindset. So I see that a lot in great leaders and great organizations. Optimism really is a competitive advantage, and positive leadership is the competitive advantage today in business and sports.
Interesting. And I have to ask you, so because you've talked to so many and worked with so many people in these different industries, when you watch, like you're watching the World Series right now, when you watch how do you see it? Are you watching it through a fan's eyes, or is it a completely different experience through your eyes?
It's a different experience for me. I am looking at the leader, I'm looking at the coaches, I'm looking at the team, the body language, how they respond to adversity, what they're thinking. I've talked to these guys before, after games. Like, I'm like, oh, were you going through something there? Yeah, how'd you know? So I just know things, and I see things working with so many teams over the years. The Atlanta Falcons, when Mike Smith was the head coach, I worked with him for like 7 straight years. So you learn a lot, you see a lot, and you can tell a lot when you watch. And I'm looking at their attitude, their resilience, how they bounce back. You could see when they sort of get discouraged and they give up. You can see when a team stops playing hard. You could see when a team is connected. And the more connected they are, the more committed they will be. Connection always leads to commitment. So if a team's not connected, they're not going to be committed, and I can tell that immediately.
Interesting. Yeah, I could talk to you for an hour just about that, because as you know, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves here who are also off to a little bit of a rocky start, and sometimes it's frustrating, and they even admitted a couple of games in, like, we just weren't giving our all, and you can kind of see it on faces sometimes when guys just aren't in the rhythm, and you kind of just want to go, come on, just, put that smile on your face, because when you do the smile, you actually feel happier, right? You just feel like saying like crazy things like that to them, right?
Oh, totally. And I wrote a book, The 7 Commitments of a Great Team. Those 7 commitments, one of them is the commitment to giving your best. And I define giving your best, and it's this. You're not always going to be at 100%. Sometimes you'll be at 30%. Sometimes you'll be at 50% or 70%. But you can always give 100% of what you have. And you always give your best in those moments. I also wrote a book with PJ Fleck called Row the Boat. So I was the co-author of that book with him, and I've watched him lead at a very high level, a very positive level, but he'll also challenge you as well when you're not performing. And it was wild, right, to watch them play so well against Nebraska, but then see them have a letdown against Iowa. And then you go, okay, what's going on there?
Yeah.
By the way, just got to tell you, I just love Minnesota in general. I have so many connections there. I've gotten to speak there, I think, more than just about any other city over the years.
Really?
So I don't know what it is. A guy from Florida who lives in Florida coming to Minnesota, but I guess they understand and embrace optimism and positivity. And I'm even wearing my Unreal brand shirt, which I love, which is a Minnesota-based company.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And I was going to ask you about PJ, because obviously the Row the Boat, when he brought that here, it really was a culture changer, not just on the team, but also in our community as well. What is it? I got to ask you a little bit more about PJ. What is it about him? Because when he came here, I got to be honest, a lot of us were like, whoa, this is a lot. We're Midwesterners. We're just not used to being out there like that. But what is it about him that people say he is like that on camera, off camera, whenever? He is just that guy.
There's Minnesota nice is what you're talking about, right? So I get what that is. And PJ's just right in your face. Here he is. He's got a ton of energy, and he's talking like this, and he's bringing the energy. And PJ is just great. He is the real deal. And writing that book with him was a great way for me to see the real him. And he said, hey, you're my offensive coordinator. I'm your quarterback. Tell me what to do. And as we wrote the book, I said, all right, tell me about this. Tell me about when you were young. Tell me about this story. And as he wrote, I was reading what he wrote, and it jumped off the page. Like, those words that he wrote on that page were awesome. Now, I had to edit some of them, which is all part of the process, but they were so powerful, what he was sharing, and his style was powerful, just like he lived. So when you're writing, there's an essence of you that comes out, And I saw that in him. And he was the same guy writing that book as we were going through that process as he is with his team. I got a chance to come hang out with the team for one game, spoke to them, stayed with them the next day, watched as he got the team ready. That night, he literally reads a children's book before they all go to bed to the entire team. It's like a ritual that they did, which is a really cool ritual. And it's a children's book with a positive message. And I thought, that's such a cool idea. And then he goes and visits every teammate's room. He goes to the rooms of all the players and visits them. And I thought that's a really cool thing too. Like, he's the real deal. At first I think people were like, is this real? And 100%. now you know it's real.
We do. Yeah. Gosh, again, I could talk sports with you for forever. I want to ask you a little bit about some of the things that are happening though in the world, because it feels like, I know it just seems like there are so many layoffs that are happening. And so, you know, when it comes to leadership, you know, we know Target just went through a really rough round here. That's our hometown company. Amazon, General Motors, you know, Paramount, UPS, you name it. You know, advice for leaders who have to make cuts, and then also for workers who are going to have to try to rebound somehow.
We are big Target fans, and there's always going to be change in business. You have to communicate through the change. So when you're going through it and you're dealing with situations like that, make sure you're communicating to the employees, to the leaders, explaining what's happening, why it's happening. Just know that as people are leaving and people are staying, you have to build trust in both places, because how you treat people as they walk out the door is actually what the people who are staying are looking at and seeing. And how you handle those people that are leaving will say a lot about the relationship you have with those that are staying. And so when change initiatives are happening, so often they fail because you don't communicate well, you don't build the relationships, there's not that connection, and then you lose the commitment. So it's a really important time to communicate, because where there's avoiding communication, negativity will fill it. So we have to make sure we're communicating well so negativity doesn't breed and grow. You could have a negative situation, but it could get a lot worse when you don't communicate well. If you communicate well, you can weather the storm, keep on building your strong culture and relationships with the people that are still there, and then from there you can rebuild and hopefully rise up and then hire more people again in the future.
Finally, I wanted to talk about, so a couple of but the one truth and then difficult conversations don't have to be difficult, have helped me personally. We're heading into a time of the year when a lot of us are going to be around emotionally charged conversations. I know this is I mean, I said this, you know, years and years ago, and it feels like it's just kind of gotten worse anecdotally, but politics, our values, you know, what's your best advice for people to try to get through this holiday season and keep that positivity?
You know, it's sometimes the hardest thing to do with getting with family, and then the negativity breeds and grows, and you have those fights and the disagreements, and just be thankful that you get to enjoy this holiday. Be thankful that you're alive. Be thankful that you could be together. My mom passed away at 59 years old, so I don't get to argue with her. I don't get to debate. So be with the ones you love and enjoy your time together. Keep the main thing the main thing. In difficult conversations, we remind people, remember, the relationship is important. Don't allow disagreements to ruin and sabotage your relationship. Respect each other. And I can think that your idea is trash, but I know that you have value. I could disagree with you, but still appreciate who you are and still love you. And I think that's the most important thing for the holidays. So guess what? Eat, but just tune out if you don't want to listen. And enjoy the meal, enjoy people. And I would just say, don't even talk about politics. It's not worth it. Again, keep the main thing the main thing. And we see this in companies too. I get called by a lot of CEOs where the companies are now having disagreements within the company because of what's happening outside the company in politics and all the issues going on. And I will tell that company, I will give a talk to that company and say, remember, the mission and purpose and the vision of the company of where you're going and why you're going there, that's what you have to focus on. All the other stuff is just a distraction.
John Gordon, thank you for your time today. Well worth the wait for me and for our viewers. And please let us know when you're coming back to Minnesota, because it sounds like it should be on your calendar soon, hopefully.
Yes, I would love to let you know when I'm coming back. I can't wait to come back, and I'm always rooting for the Vikings. That's for sure.
And the Gophers now too, we know. So
of
that's
course.
good.
Well, yeah, I always root for PJ.
Yeah.
Always.
All right. Thank you, John. Really appreciate your time
All right,
today.
take care. God bless.
All right. Thank you. All right. John Gordon. It's amazing. Very, very cool. All right, Ryan, do you want to jump in here? And do you have? It sounds like you might have a little update for us on a news story.
Yeah, we've talked about it a couple times. Mike Manzoni talked about it too. We now know that those federal judges have ruled now that the Trump administration must continue to fund SNAP benefits by using contingency funds during the government shutdown. The Trump administration has said they cannot use those funds for this. Democrats have said they not only. Now, what we don't know, Amy, is how quickly or what will happen next.
This is what I'm looking for, Ryan. Yeah, this is what everybody's wondering. And we talked to Mike about it a few minutes ago. Okay.
So there's a couple things. Both of these judges are looking at Monday to get some updates from the Trump administration on how these benefits will resume. But it's not immediately clear how quickly that will happen, as this process can often take 1 to 2 weeks to get it back going again. So we'll just kind of have to wait. And there's also appeals that could come here from the Trump administration, from the government. So that's where we are right now. We know that these benefits are set to end or set to be paused tomorrow. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens next.
Yep. The judge also said the administration needed to examine whether other federal funds would be available to keep program operating in the absence of a funding bill. And also, just a quote here from the coalition of plaintiffs in this. They said, quote, "Today's ruling is a lifeline for millions of families, seniors, and veterans who depend on SNAP to put food on the table." So again, it sounds like a victory for them, but a lot of questions around how quickly. And we'll just, you and I will kind of keep looking here and reading as more information is trickling in. But glad we could get that update, and we'll stay on this and bring you what we can as we keep going here. Do you want to take a quick break right now?
Let's do that. Yep.
Okay, let's do that and come right back. Much more to come here on All Day Live on a kind of cloudy and drizzly, dreary Halloween, but that's okay. Maybe that's the way we like it on Halloween. Just stay positive about it, right? John Gordon says stay positive. We're going to do that. We're going to keep staying positive right after this break. More All Day Live to come. Welcome back to All Day Live. 1:35 is our time. We've been talking about the SNAP funding and that ruling that just came in. So we'll right now looking for some more information on that. But it looks like what looks like a lifeline, at least temporarily here for people who have been on schedule now to lose SNAP funding starting tomorrow, affecting people in urban areas, but also in greater Minnesota, of course. More rural areas sometimes are the ones that get hit the hardest when it comes to this kind of thing, because they may not have access to all of the resources that people might have in more urban or metropolitan areas. We know we've seen a lot of different businesses stepping up, communities and farms even stepping up all over the state to help bridge these gaps. And Gochner Farm in Dodge County is one of them. Megan Gochner joins us now. Thank you for being with us today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and let me just make sure I'm saying your last name right. Is it Gochner?
Gochner, like
Gochner.
a gopher with an N in the middle. Yes.
Gochner. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, Megan, you had, I believe it was a Facebook post, or it was some sort of social media post that caught our eye today, and it started with, this has been weighing on me for a while, and I wanted to make sure we were helping where we could. Tell me about how you've been feeling.
Yeah, so we've got 2 little kids, and it breaks my heart to think of someone their age, or really anyone's age, going home at night and wondering where their next meal comes from, and not having the resources or the funding to make sure that that's there to provide for themselves, their children. Maybe they're caring for their elderly parents or spouse, and we wanted to just step up where we could. The root of our lives is at food. You know, we're milking cows and raising animals for meat, and so we're producing food on that end. And we also own a commercial kitchen where we turn farm-to-table ingredients into meals and deliver them right to people's doors. So food is near and dear to our hearts, and we wanted to do our part.
Yeah, so tell us about your farm and the store. First of all, give us kind of a lay of the land, and we'll talk about how you're offering help.
Yes, let's step outside. So here's our farm behind me. We are right on the end of Main Street. You'll see we've got lots of pumpkins outside, and then you'll see a door right at the front with an open sign. And when you come inside, you are going to see, let's flip you around. Oops, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Megan, remind us. So you're in Concord? Where exactly?
West Concord, yes.
Okay.
Right on the end of Main Street in West Concord. So when you come inside, you're going to see some fridges and freezers behind me here. Those will all be stocked with meals. And then we also did a grocery order of different dry goods and staples for your pantry. We had some other people drop off items too. So shelves are certainly filling up in here. Lots of community members and neighbors want to join the effort and help how they can, and are dropping off dry goods as well. So definitely full in here, so people can stop by and grab what they need.
Okay, and you're in Dodge County, so south of the Twin Cities Metro. So how should people connect with you? Is it anonymous? Do they need to show anything, bring anything?
It's all anonymous, so our store is always open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for self-service. Typically, our store is on a cash basis or Venmo. We've got a cash box on the wall, and people in the area can come in and shop and grab what they need. It's on the honor system, and then they just pay when they leave. But right now, we've just got everything that if you come in here and shop like normal, that's great. But if you can't afford to pay, that's okay too. So take what you need, pay what you can if you feel so inclined. Otherwise, just take what you need and provide for your family. Be proud of yourself for stepping up and doing that. No proof needs to be shown. It's completely anonymous. You just come when it works for you during the day and grab what you need.
Did you grow up on a farm, Megan?
I didn't. My husband did. He grew up on a farm all his life. I grew up with some horses and joined FFA and 4-H when I was in high school. And we got together when I was still in high school, and we farmed ever since.
Wow. It's really, really awesome what you're doing. And, you know, we're seeing so many people stepping up. And like you said, even in your smaller community there in Dodge County, West Concord, people are coming to you to want to help as well. If people are in Dodge County and they want to help, say they have some food, things like that, I mean, are you taking just donations as well, or how can they help?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can either drop goods off at the store, they can put them in the fridge or freezers, they can set them out on the shelves, whatever works for them, or they can go on our website if they're not able and they can't, if they don't want to come drop things off at the store, they can go on our website. It's www.gofnerfarms.org, and they can place an order for the meals that we would make every week. Then in their comments, they can just put store or something along those lines, and we'll know to stock it in the store for somebody else who needs it rather than deliver it to the person who ordered it. Our Venmo is also at Gofner Farms, so they can certainly send a Venmo that way, and we can just keep adding to the store as funds are available.
Okay, and the plan is to keep it going for how long, do you think? Or is it just kind of playing it by ear?
Certainly as long as we can. So as long as the SNAP and WIC benefits are giving people a hard time, we'll try and keep doing this. As long as we're financially able to, we'll keep doing this. And if it's something that those government benefits come back and it still seems to be a need in our community, maybe we'll pursue if we should continue doing something like this.
All right, Megan, thank you so much. And your husband Jacob as well. We really appreciate you guys putting that out there and letting people know, and glad we could share this resource with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. All right, take care. All right, again, that's in Dodge County. All right, let's take a break and we'll come right back. 1:41 is our time. We're so glad that you're with us. It's Halloween. I hope you have some good, fun plans tonight. It's a Friday night, so be safe out there. Remember, drivers, you know, it feels like it's getting darker earlier. I think right after 6 now we're going to lose the sunlight. So just be careful when you're out there tonight. As always, All Day Live will continue right after this. Oh, welcome back to All Day Live. It is a horrible feeling. I mean, it's bad enough when you're driving and you see one of those signs on the light post that says, you know, missing, and it's a dog or a cat. Imagine, you know, losing your pet in that way, and they've disappeared. You don't know where they are. Where should you go? What should you do? Well, one of the groups locally here that helps find lost pets is Lost Canine, and they have a pretty incredible reunion that they're going to tell us about. We have several guests here, so co-founder of Lost Canine, Randy Klossner, joining us, and then tell us who else is in this shot, you guys. Who are we talking to?
So this is Susie and Tom, and we have little Donnie here who was on the run.
Okay, well, let's
for quite a while.
Welcome everybody. Oh, Donnie's looking so good. Hi. So, I'll hear your name. Randy, let's start with you. September 6th, mini schnauzer named Donnie slips out of his home in Oakdale. Stinker got out of the house. Take it from there, Randy. What happened?
So we received a request, and of course, we do what we can. We jump in. We start with social media, flyers and signs, and we try to bring awareness to the community as much as possible, because we need sightings, right? We need the community to help us, be able to find these dogs when they get on the run.
Yeah. And so days go by, weeks go by, so 50 days. Were there any clues along the way, any leads along the way, or how did it eventually kind of come to the place where you're like, oh my goodness, I think we've got him?
So there were very few clues. He was pretty elusive. I think we went a week at first without a sighting, if I remember right, and then there was a couple of various ones from there, but overall at the end it was 3 weeks that we went without a sighting until the day that he was actually found.
Okay, can you tell us about that? I don't know, Randy, you want to tell it, or
no, I'll let these guys. They're the ones that were there.
Okay, so tell us how it happened that Donnie was discovered and found.
So a couple days prior, a gentleman in Lake Elmo had a video of him on his Ring camera, which was a perfect video of Donnie and his long legs. And on the day we found him, we were out with a group of volunteers from next door, and we got a phone call from a man named Joe. We call him Uncle Joe now. And he said, I have eyes on Donnie. I didn't believe him at first. We still there?
Yeah, you're good. You didn't believe him at first?
I didn't believe him at first. But he said, I'm serious. And so we were less than a mile away. We went running over to his house, and there Donnie was. It took a little bit to get him to recognize us, but he recognized his sister Molly first. She's kind of half in the shot here.
So tell us about that moment. So you said that Donnie didn't really recognize, it took a minute. Can you kind of slow down that moment in time for us and tell us what that was like and how eventually he kind of comes to and realizes?
Sure. So Tom and Molly and Joe went down in the woods behind Joe's house because that's where they had seen Donnie. But I was a little bit behind them, so I was still in Joe's backyard. And I saw Donnie in the backyard, and thanks to Randy's training on how to deal with lost animals, I very quietly said hi to him. He kind of looked at me, maybe slight recognition, and then ran back down to the woods. About 5-10 minutes later, I was just watching him in the woods, and I got to a clearing where he could see me, and by then I had Tom and Molly come back up, and Donnie saw Molly and started to come back up the hill towards us. So I dropped on the ground and was talking to Donnie and gave Molly a treat. And Donnie was not having any of that, so he came up for the treat. And
you tackled him.
I gave him the treat and I tackled him.
Every time you say the T word, Donnie's head just goes, what? Huh? What was that? Oh gosh, that's and it's so interesting that you had the training. I want to talk to Randy about this too. This is a really important point in what the work that you guys do. But as Donnie's mama, I can't imagine going down there and not wanting to just like run and scream and be like, and just be so excited to see it. But really, that was so key in all of this, right, Randy?
That's so important with a lost dog, and this is any lost dog. I mean, you should never yell, clap, whistle, especially chase them. If you try to chase a dog, a lost dog, even a random dog, they're gonna run away 99% of the time. The key is to be calm, to not, and nothing. You can't startle them with any sudden noises and sudden movements. You just got to sit down, be quiet, and let them come to you.
Go ahead.
That's pretty much what it comes down to with lost dogs, and a dog after a couple days of being on the run will go into what we call survival mode. And with that, they, like they said, they don't even recognize the people that they've lived with forever too. When they're in survival mode, they need to be pretty much right next to them, be able to smell them, see them, hear them, all at the same time before they actually recognize them.
My goodness. What did Donnie look like when you saw him, when you got him, and then how has he been doing since then?
He was a mess. Yes, you were. He had burrs in his paws. His claws were overgrown. Burrs in his face. What else?
Did he lose a lot of weight?
Half his weight.
He lost half of his body weight, yes.
My goodness. Wow. And then how quickly has he, because how many days ago was it that he was found?
It was just last Saturday, so what is that? 6 days?
Yeah, almost a week. And so what's the last week been like, just progress-wise with Donnie?
Donnie, once I had him and put him in the car, he recognized us. By the time we got home, he recognized his home, where his water bowl was, where his toys were. He fell right back into his old patterns, comes to work with us every day. He knows what we're doing all the time. It's a miracle, actually, that he has bounced back so quick.
He just likes a lot of food now.
He's eating a lot.
And you're probably not withholding anything, I imagine. He's just like, whatever you want, Donnie.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Randy, tell us more about Lost Canine. I know people know there are several, maybe they don't know, but there are several groups locally who do work like this. But Lost Canine, tell us why you started this, co-founded it. Why do you do this kind of work?
So it pretty much started with a dog that walked by our house one night and ended up being a stray. And my wife, myself, and our other co-founder, along with a whole group of people from our community, spent almost a month going after this dog. And we actually followed the dog for, I want to say it was like 30 some miles over that month. And we ended up catching the dog, and we kind of created a small group from there. And as we just started out helping other people, right, randomly, and then we decided to actually turn it into a company in 2020. And then, of course, when COVID hit, a lot of people were adopting dogs, and they were losing them pretty quickly. So we suddenly got really busy. And it's just, it was for the love of dogs. And like I said, this little one that we actually found in the first place she's the reason we started the company, is because we enjoyed doing it. And we thought we were pretty good at it at the time. And so that's kind of what started it. And we still have that dog to this day.
Oh, my goodness.
And we did find her owner, so.
Oh, what's her name?
Well, her name's Baby Girl.
Oh,
so.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Is Donnie one of the longest stretches that you've gone, or have there been others?
Pretty close. There's been a couple that have been a little bit longer, but I would say he's the longest stretch we've had with the minimal amount of sightings. So.
You guys, did you ever give up hope, or how were you feeling during the 50 days?
It was the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm not gonna lie. It was an emotional roller coaster, but we didn't give up, and I know it's 100% because of Randy, and he had to deal with my emotional roller coaster, but he never gave up. And I always listen to Randy. He's the expert, and whatever Randy said, we did. We followed everything that he told us to do for the most part. And if Randy had said it's time to give up,
which never happened. So, and it's not just me, obviously. We have a group of volunteers and several people that do several different things, and there's no way anyone can do this alone. And so between our volunteers and between the community, which we ask for help all the time, and without the community and their sightings and stuff like that, we would never be as successful as we are. So
thank goodness.
And even though,
go ahead.
Even though we don't give up, that flash of worst case scenario still flashes through your head half the time too. So you don't give up, but that you've always got that in the background too, that something could have happened to him, which really puts stress on you.
Oh yeah,
it's terrifying.
the emotional roller coaster. I can't even imagine. Well, it's so good to see Donnie just being so loved and back home, and I'm sure it's so gratifying for all of you. Randy, thanks so much for sharing the story and bringing the family together with us today, and keep up the good work with Lost K9.
Well, thank you.
Can I just add really quick?
Please.
I just want to say a huge, huge thank you to the entire community of Oakdale, Lake Elmo, Maplewood. All of them were in it with us, helping us find him.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ring cameras, my goodness, that is. Who knew that they would have that purpose when we got those? So, yeah, big time. You go on Facebook and you can just see everybody coming together to try to help out. So, all right, you guys have a wonderful weekend, and keep Donnie close. Keep him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Keep him real close. All right, take care, you guys. See you later.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. Ryan.
I love it. It's the perfect way to end this week.
It really is.
Any week, really.
Any week, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
I love that story so much.
Days. Oh gosh, it is. It's so sad when you see the little signs on the, in the street when you're driving by and you're like, no, shoot. But yeah, that's good organizations like that. There are several in the Twin Cities Metro that can help find your little free loved one. Well, gosh, I feel bad. We've been asking for photos, and maybe we're just going to show Monday, but we've been asking for photos from our viewers, and we've gotten so many.
Monday we'll probably put together.
I think we should.
Yeah, so a post-Halloween.
Post-Halloween, I think so. I did. I think I did say I called one out in particular, and I was like, I'll just show it on my phone, so I'll just do that. This is from Megan Johnson, and this is William, who's taking a little nap before he heads out tonight. So thank you to Megan for sending that. But his very first trick-or-treating experience is going to happen, so he needs a little snoozer before he heads out. Henry's ready?
Yeah, it will be Henry's first trick-or-treating. We're just going to go to a a few houses.
Yeah, you got to ease him into it, but super excited.
He's not allowed to have most of the candy, if not all of it.
It pretty much, I can't have any of it, so it's all
okay.
for you guys.
Mom and Dad will eat it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
what are you doing, Amy?
I am hanging out with Grandma, and we're just going to give out candy and
Love it.
Yeah, it's just we don't get a lot of kids because we're kind of like up and away from.
I heard you do full-size candy bars, so I'm going to tell everyone your address right now. I'm going to read it on the screen. Oh God, no, I won't.
Neighbors do, and I love them for it, but no. I think we did it one year, and I was just like, I can't do it.
It's a lot. Just little candy bars are expensive.
They are. I hope everybody has a safe holiday weekend with Halloween. We'll see you.